Look, I've been a professional reader for a very long time, and I've seen it all. But today, we're not just telling stories. Oh no, we're conducting an autopsy. We are putting on the gloves, picking up the scalpel, and we are going to dissect the toxic, codependent relationship between professional readers and the, let's face it, thriving culture of freeloading you see in these online spiritual groups. This is a forensic study. It's going to be sharp, and it's going to be final.
So let's just get right into it with an uncomfortable question. Take a good, hard look at this. Are you a spiritual raccoon? And don't mistake this for some cute little metaphor. It's a diagnosis, and it is high time we all understood exactly what that means.
So what is a spiritual raccoon? Well, it's not just somebody looking for a freebie. It's a specific kind of behavior. It's that person who is endlessly scrolling through groups, just dumpster diving for validation from anyone who'll tell them what they want to hear. You know the type. They think a $5 PDF from some burnt-out reader on Etsy is going to hold the key to their entire destiny. This isn't about seeking guidance. It's spiritual foraging.
And here's the fundamental truth that this entire broken ecosystem is designed to ignore. Let me make this crystal clear for everybody in the back. Real, soul-shaking clarity does not live in the discount bin. Your healing is not a Black Friday special, and your destiny does not come with free shipping. Real work has real value. Full stop.
So how did this whole autopsy get started? Well, it began, as these things so often do, with a moment of truth-telling in a place that just could not handle it. It all kicked off when a post, a mirror held up to the face of the community, was called too aggressive and was, well, swiftly eliminated.
This right here, this was the message. This was the crime. This simple, unapologetic statement that professionals, people who have poured years into their craft, deserve to be invested in. It's a call for self-respect, not just for the reader, but for the client too. It's saying, hey, our intuition is worth more than a stick of gum. Apparently, that was a declaration of war.
And here is the response from on high. Let's just read this. I know it is beyond frustrating, but please, let's not make aggressive posts. It may actually give them a harsh view on us readers. Let's keep things education, not aggressive. Can you just hear that tone? That placating, hand-wringing fear. The immediate instinct to go soothe the freeloaders, just in case their delicate little feelings were disturbed.
You know, that message wasn't about keeping the peace. It was an act of total cowardice, and it's a symptom of a deep, systemic sickness. And that is why we are here. Now, the real work begins. The forensic autopsy of her logic, her motivation, her behavior. And I promise you, it will be scalpel-sharp, sarcastic, poisonous, and absolutely final.
Our first incision. We're going right for the central delusion that keeps these spiritual soup kitchens in business. This is the foundational myth that the entire rotten structure is built on.
You know, it all comes down to this one question. Does giving away your time, your energy, and your expertise for free over and over again magically transform a freeloader into a paying client? Because the admin of this group and so many others just like her have staked their entire model on the answer being a resounding yes.
This is the fantasy she's selling. It's this little fairy tale she tells herself. She genuinely believes that someone who has consumed, 45 free readings this week is going to suddenly have an epiphany. They'll wake up one morning filled with a brand new sense of integrity and say, gosh, I think it's time I started paying for the skilled labor I've been exploiting for months. Yeah, no. Let's be brutally honest. This scenario is pure fiction. It belongs in a book of myths, filed right between mermaids, unicorns, and politicians who actually take responsibility for their actions. It doesn't happen. Freeloaders don't convert. They just move on to the next reader willing to devalue themselves.
All right, now we cut deeper. We're past the flawed logic, and we're getting into the gooey, emotional center of the problem. We are going to examine the psychological drivers behind this admin's behavior. And let me tell you, it is a toxic cocktail of fear, a desperate need for validation, and just breathtaking hypocrisy.
Let's do a direct translation, shall we? When she says, let's keep things educational, not aggressive, what she actually means is, for the love of all that is holy, please do not upset the parasites. If you call them out, they might stop feeding on us, and I need them here. She isn't protecting harmony. She's protecting an imaginary customer funnel made of raccoons.
She's terrified the freeloaders will get a harsh view of readers. Are you kidding me? Here's the news flash. And I'm not going to be subtle about it. They already see us as vending machines. They think we owe them our time, our energy, our emotional labor for absolutely nothing. You cannot lose the respect of people who never had any for you in the first place.
So why protect them? Why? Because she's an addict. That original post didn't just threaten her business model, it threatened her drug supply. And what's her drug? Oh, it's 2 heart emojis here, a thank you lovely there, a you're so accurate. She hoards screenshots of this stuff like it's gold. This isn't a community, it's her personal dopamine farm, and we are the unpaid labor.
And of course, this addiction leads to the most stunning hypocrisy. This chart just lays it all out. A reader sets a boundary, they're punished for being aggressive. But a freeloader who insults a reader, ghosts them after reading, makes endless demands, crickets, that's totally ignored. In her little kingdom, the freeloaders are the sacred angels, and the readers are just unpaid customer service bots.
So let's be perfectly clear about her role in all this. She is not a community leader. She is not a spiritual guide. She is the head of human resources for a thriving colony of parasites, and her only job is to make sure the hosts stay docile and compliant.
We have examined the delusion. We've examined the fear, the hypocrisy. Now it is time for the final verdict. Let's bring in the cold, hard numbers and close this case for good.
Outside of the twisted reality of these Facebook groups, this is what professional work actually costs. A typical 1-hour reading, one that takes skill, focus, and a ton of energy, goes for between $75 and $110. That's the market rate. That is the value of our time.
And this is the absolute insanity of it all. In her little kingdom, readers are supposed to give away a $100 hour of skilled labor for free, probably get ghosted or insulted for their trouble, and then get a lecture about being aggressive if they dare to point out how completely unsustainable and disrespectful the whole system is.
So let's be real. That post was not removed to protect the peace. It was removed because it exposed the rotting skeleton in the group's closet. It proved the whole group survives on free labor. It proved it enables parasites and punishes anyone who tells the truth. It threatened the central fantasy that if you just cuddle the freeloaders enough, one day they will magically pay you.
And this is the final psychological nail in the coffin. That public shaming wasn't about a breach of the rules. It was pure vengeance. The admin humiliated the original poster, not because they were wrong, but because they were devastatingly, undeniably right. And with 10 simple sentences, they destroyed the fantasy that this admin has built her entire identity around.
And that is the final word. The evidence has been presented, the motives have been exposed, the verdict is in. For any reader out there who is devaluing their gift in one of these groups, and for any admin who is enabling the raccoons, the autopsy is complete. Case closed. No appeal.